Tzeentch as the Halberd Chaos faction matches up a little bit weirdly against the Dwarfs, and today we're going to see a very unusual build from Tzeentch here as they try and take on the Dwarfs. This is from Lenorm, longtime friend of the channel and regular submitter of replays, and the context of this is there was a special event basically where each Chaos faction minus Norska and Beastmen would put together a build to fight this Dwarf player, I believe. If I'm getting this right, Lenorm, you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong about this. And then the Dwarf player had to make one build to try and fight all of them. So this is the result. And I will say right up front, this is a very nice Dwarfs build. The Brimstone guns is a little bit of a risky one, I think, against pretty much all the Chaos factions. Furies and other air threats will be quite dangerous. I mean, Tzeentch probably most of all. So that's the only thing in this build that I might change up, but at the same time, I mean, Brimstones can be quite good, can pay for themselves quite quickly. We've also got the obligatory Slayers as well, a couple on each flank, front line of Dwarf Warrior Great Weapons. Regular Dwarf Warriors got some blasting charges as well, and some Corlers as a backline. Then for Lenorm's Tzeentch, he's got this Soul Grinder. And Kairos, you can see the plan here is all ready to pull the Dwarfs out of position, get them in an uncomfortable situation. Of course, Thorek leading the way for the Dwarfs should be mentioned. Shrieking, what are they? Shrieking Sky Rays. Yes, the Regiment of Renown. Screamers here to hunt, probably Brimstone guns specifically with that anti-large AP. Knights of Immolation as well here for some mobile threats. And then we've got the Mutilate Vortex Beast for AoE drain and anti-infantry damage. Couple of Zangors, maybe just one Zangor and a bunch of blues. So very odd build for sure. But already Kairos going to come forward, pop a Gaze of Fate, and allow the Knights of Immolation to get in and shut down some gyros immediately. Other gyrocopters then turn and fire those. They're going to be able to get some damage in here. Same for the Corlers as well. They're not too obstructed. They can actually fire in somewhat, and it looks like we're going to see a Rune of Slowness on those Knights of Immolation a little bit late, but as they pull away, they'll get hit a couple more times there. Shrieking Sky Rays also come forward. They're quite vulnerable to the Corlers here, but again, the whole idea is to try and draw the Dwarfs out and get them in uncomfortable situations, like here when we get these infantry units, especially the Slayers tangled up with Zangors. That is a very good situation for Tzeentch. Obviously, the Zangors will trade super cost effectively, but they're getting replaced by Dwarf Warrior Great Weapons. It's going to be a little bit less good, especially since they didn't get their charge bonus. Other Dwarf Warriors coming forward, trying to hunt down some of these blues, but the Mutilate Vortex Beast can try and push them back. It's going to be a little bit of a kite game for Tzeentch. Those Shrieking Sky Rays took quite a bit of damage on that attack run there, and there's still multiple Brimstones online. One of them is even hard landed on the ground. So there you go. Yeah, it's actually the regular Mutilith Vortex Beast. There's pretty much no reason to ever take the Regiment of Renown. Mutilith Vortex right now, the special ability that it has is just terrible, so there you go. Those Dwarf Warriors, their nice red color scheme following up, and some missile attacks hitting Brimstone guns, making some contact there. Of course, with Kairos able to heal, it is going to be quite tough to kill the Mutilith Vortex Beast with good micro. And so far, Tzeentch has done a good job of keeping it out of harm's way, but the Dwarfs are very tough and resilient. They are going to continue pushing forward and trying to make best use of all their units here. Did a good job of pressuring those blues. The Dwarf Warrior Great Weapons end up trading super cost effectively against the Zangors, actually. Again, without the Zangors getting their charge, it should be noted, Zangor's charge bonus is very good, so it's a big component of their power. But let's see here, Knights of Immolation coming in for a nice little rear charge, helping this Mutilith Vortex Beast just cut through the Dwarfs, break their leadership. Nice big splash attack there, just knocks over a bunch of them. And then the Knights of Immolation are going to move away and take off. Gyrocopters, a lot still alive. Yeah, this unit that lost just a single unit model, almost all their HP, but still 3 unit models still alive. So that missile damage is quite impressive. And you can see the Mutilith Vortex Beast kind of paying the price for that there. Tzeentch is starting to run out of support units to a degree. Like they've got this other unit of Zangors here that I actually did forget to spot. But they're now pressuring this back line of crossbowmen, which is just perfect. Shrieking Sky Rays as well are kind of avoiding the main Body of Fire right now. Rune of Slowness on Kairos, and Dwarfs are going to attempt to snipe him, which is pretty futile, to be honest. Best way to kill Kairos is with army losses, if possible. Although he himself has enough power combat potential that he might actually not. But I would think if you're able to get rid of the Mutalith, get rid of the Soul Grinder there, it would be quite good. The Soul Grinder, though, has been free to just continue shooting and scooting the entire time. Been doing some really nice damage to Thorek Ironbrow, even despite his missile resistance. It is a magical missile attack, so it does bypass that physical resistance there, but still. Yeah, the blues, though, getting absolutely exploded by blasting charges and just quickly bursted off the field. Trying their best to kite, but honestly, it's not the biggest micro priority. It's much more important for the Tzeentch player here to prioritize his micro with Kairos and with the Knights of Immolation, with the Soul Grinder. There's a lot of expensive elements to manage, so there's no need to over-micro those cheap units. Just let them do their thing, more or less. Yeah, Shrieking Sky Race chasing some Corlers off. The Knights of Immolation have started to take some pretty heavy damage. They're trying to finish off what's left of these gyros here, but definitely getting caught in this very severe crossfire. I don't see any healing coming out from Kairos. He's probably going to have to save the healing for himself, potentially, but nice AoE bombardment from Tzeentch. He's going to Gaze of Fate, at least Dwarf Warriors, so they are guaranteed to get hit by it, but the other units are able to mostly move out of the way. Yeah, not taking too much damage there. So, nicely done by the Dwarfs player. But the anti-large will come in play for the Mutalith Vortex Beast temporarily as it catches the Brimstones on the ground. This last Brimstone unit remaining, well, I guess there's a couple more units remaining. Trying their best to finish off. The Knights of Immolation are getting very low, down below 1,000 HP, so it's looking pretty grim for them. Zangors can try and utilize their speed to get out in front of the Dwarfs, not take too much damage here, try and kind of dictate, get to the right support positions, but right now, again, micro being prioritized elsewhere. They are taking some hits from those Dwarf Warrior great weapons. But Kairos chasing off these Brimstones. And the Dwarfs getting a little bit spread apart, but Kairos going to start to unleash some missiles. Nice magic missile just cutting through the side of those Corlers there. Very well done. And meanwhile, this blue that's been kiting here for a while is going to turn around, throw their missiles at the Brimstones, while the Mutalith, using its speed to get around, support different areas of the battle. Just such an amazing looking unit, honestly. Like, what even is that, to be honest? Big old tentacle face thing. Doing a nice job absorbing damage. Got that barrier back up, and we see for Tzeentch, all these single entities are doing pretty well. Kairos has taken the most damage by far, but even still, he has, again, plenty of capacity to heal himself. Unfortunately, I can't see the Winds of Magic for Tzeentch, but Dwarfs are sitting pretty solid. Oof, I don't know. Thorek actually just continuously taking damage from the Soul Grinder here. That is going to put him on a timer, and once Thorek goes down, I do think that the Dwarfs will start to have just general leadership issues. I mean, they're not super vulnerable to terror, generally have very good leadership, but when things start to get this low, it's a little spooky. Speaking of spooky, I have a fun replay to show you guys for tomorrow. Celebrate the spooky holiday, but we'll save that for tomorrow. For today, just get to admire Kairos unleashing some strange magics on these Dwarfs, just blasting out in 3 waves there. Very cool stuff. Knights of Immolation eventually do go down to the Brimstones there. Nice Rune of Doom giving some extra melee attack to all the Dwarfs map-wide as they fight it out in melee against various remaining infantry units. Unfortunately, the Slayers haven't been able to really keep up with the Soul Grinder. I think maybe Rune of Slowness would have been used on the Soul Grinder more. It's hard to say, but definitely would have helped to manage them a little bit so that the Slayers can keep up. Also, it's a good reason to bring the Dragonback Slayers specifically because, of course, they have that slow effect on contact and can help delay units like this. Like, they certainly have enough speed on their own with that slow. Should be able to keep up with something like, I don't know, Soul Grinders are pretty fast, but at the very least help stack with Rune of Slowness. As it is, though, Thorek getting taken out by Val Tzeentchian tricks. As the Regiment of Renown Blue Horrors, Chromatic Aberrations fight with Mutalith Vortex in support. They're going to be a great combination with that super high model count. The Blue Horrors can just saturate in, and the Mutalith can do the actual damage. Looking pretty grim. Yeah, we see a nice heal going for the Soul Grinder there. Little regrowth to put it back up to health, and also give it extra vigor in this late game, should it need it. But the missile attack, yeah, finally done. They just have so much ammunition, but let's check with just the missile attack alone, pretty much 2,110 damage, so Tzeentch Soul Grinder is proving their power. Definitely the best Soul Grinder variant, no question in my mind. The Nurgle Mortar one is also quite good, but yeah, that single target shooting attack just so strong. And was able to even snipe through a powerful character like Thorek in this one. So very interesting stuff. Yeah, big thanks to Lenorm for sending this one in. Decent dwarf build overall. The only thing I would cut is, again, maybe less gyros, more slayers, especially dragonback slayers, but it's an interesting Tzeentch build as well. Very much kind of tall and narrow, relying on pulling the dwarf units apart as much as possible. And I don't know if Lenorm got to see this dwarf build beforehand, but I certainly... It seems like it would be potentially vulnerable to, like, cannons and stuff. I could definitely construct a dwarf build specifically to counter this, but I guess that's kind of the point of the event, right? So, definitely an interesting one, interesting matchup. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.